Hey guys, it's JW, and again, I'm at the elementary school, my last stop of the day. I seem to have a few minutes extra now that I have decided not to embark from my vehicle until the kids are about 5 minutes out, and then I'll do that. Otherwise, I get caught up in a whole bunch of traffic that I don't need, and that make me a little on the angry side. So when people say things they shouldn't say, and I kind of sometimes say them back to them, which I shouldn't do. That's very unprofessional. And so by not getting out of my vehicle and letting things sort itself out, it's worked out real well. Things look pretty good today, and it's a rainy day. Usually it's a quagmire, but they kind of self-police each other after a while. I think I mentioned this before, usually about a month into the school year, things sort themselves out pretty good, and traffic seems to move smoothly. People get used to the time to be here rather than being here too early. They tend to get a feel for when they can come without having to wait in line. So it seems to have sorted itself out, and it's working out, and for that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for a lot of things today. I woke up this morning and I started thinking that I got a real good report from the wound center last visit. They were really happy with the progress I'm making on my wound. My daughter seems to be doing better, and she suffers from depression, and she seems to be handling things better, and she's working, and things are going well. I'm grateful for all that. And I get to see my granddaughter usually on weekends, but this weekend she was with her dad, and they went up to Vermont for the weekend, so I didn't get to see her. And so I'll be seeing her next weekend, which is the long holiday weekend, Columbus Day. And so I'll be looking forward to spending 3 days with her. It's always fun. She keeps me busy, makes me tired, but keeps me busy. And looking forward to seeing her. And that's about it. Not a whole lot new on this end. I'm going to do a video later today on. I watched a video, and it was this guy. He was a young guy. I think he said he was 25, and he was interviewing older people. I'd say they were all, 65 plus probably. And he asked them if they could share advice with the younger generation. What would it be? And 85% of them said that they would tell their younger self not to be concerned with what other people think. And so tonight I'm putting together some notes, and tonight I'm going to put up a video on it, a more extensive video regarding that subject matter, because I think it's an important one. I think a lot of people waste, I know I did, and just about everyone I've talked to about it seems to agree that in our youth, we wasted a lot of time worrying about what other people think of us. If the truth be known, other people don't think about you much at all, believe me. They're pretty worried about themselves, and they're concerned about their own problems, and they don't spend too much time thinking about you. You can trust me on that one. I'm an old guy, and that's one thing I've learned. And I'd say, probably the last easily 30 years, I have adopted that policy, long before I got old. So I said back at some point when I was in my mid-40s that, why am I worried about what other people think? They don't. First of all, I didn't think, even then I knew they really weren't thinking about me, but so why should I worry what they think? Because they're not. But anyway, because it's kind of silly when you think of it. If you should do things to please you. Now, I would suggest you do things that are moral and upstanding, but I know people who are afraid to, for instance, tell someone about their religion, or about who they might vote for, or any number of things that are normal things that we used to talk about back when I was younger, that you didn't have to worry about anyone mocking you for it or, looking at you with distaste of any sort. And it seems over the years, I think it's gotten worse. I think it was always there that people always worried about what their peers thought of them, what others thought of them, what their parents thought of them. And, I come to find out that if you work hard to please yourself, to live up to your standard of living, your standard of life, you'll be just fine. And you will have nothing to be ashamed of because it's your code, your moral code is what's important. And you owe it to yourself to live your life the way you believe it should be lived. And you don't need anyone else's permission. Now, there may be times you want somebody else's opinion. Not asking their permission, you're asking their opinion. And that's always good. If you want to, say, go into a certain occupation and you know someone who's already in that occupation, and, they're a great resource to ask questions. And that reminds me, back when I was younger, one of the guys, he had a really good job. He worked at MIT. And he just wanted to be a carpenter, which is a great job, by the way. I mean, having carpentry skills, and he had good carpentry skills. And his biggest concern was he thought everyone was going to think, are you crazy? You got a job at MIT. You work with some of the smartest people in the world. You have access to all that, all those laboratories and all those resources over at MIT, even though he wasn't any kind of a physicist or anything like that. He had a pretty good job, but it was more an admin job. But they just thought that is such an interesting job that why would you ever want to leave? And he said, I feel like I'm disappointing them. And even back then I said, you got to do what feels good for you. And, I think he eventually went into carpentry, and he was glad he did because that's something he loved to do. And so worrying about what other people think of you, what if he hadn't done that and he stayed at MIT, which again I'm sure was a terrific place to work, but for him it wasn't. For a lot of people it would have been a dream job. For him, his dream job was being a carpenter. I think he always would have regretted that he hadn't gone out and not worried about what other people thought. Because when he got older, if he's anything like most of us, he would have realized that it's not important what other people think. It's important what you think. And hey, I'm gonna report you. No problem, kid.
I'll give you money. Won't be a lot.
$5. That's one of my moms. Actually, she's a grandma. She has a grandchild that goes to the school, and she's a nice lady. But anyway, that's my cue to get out. She's usually here about 4 minutes before the kids get out. So I'll continue on my my discussion about not caring what other people think. And I said I'm going to make another video on it this evening. So I'll talk to you folks later. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.